Listen, what if I told you that you could wipe out $90,000 in credit card debt or any debt, the kind that keeps you up at night, with just a $2,000 cash injection? Watch this. Every month, your credit card minimum monthly payment is doing one thing, and that's feeding the bank. You think you're paying down debt, but you're only covering the interest. It's a trap. We are going to stop playing their game. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact math behind the $2,000 line of credit trick that lets you kill that $90,000 debt faster than you thought possible. So as is our custom, we want to share with you what's going on here so you can have a better picture of how to implement this right now. Okay, let's go ahead and go. We have $90,000 at 20%. And that's going to equal, unfortunately, a $2,400 a month minimum monthly payment. Now, when your payment is $2,400 a month, how is that getting divided? All you need to do is remember that credit cards, most of them are going to be calculated average daily interest, meaning you got to take that 20% and divide it by 365. Now, because there's 365 days in a year. Now, what that's going to equal to is approximately $1,500 each month. Now, that $1,500 is predicated on the $90,000. Of course, if this principal was lower, the interest would also be lower. All right. So $1,500 going towards the interest. How much of that does it leave for principal? $900. All right. So $900 is going towards the principal, $1,500 towards the interest. Is this something that you feel comfortable with, or would you rather have that $1,500 going towards you? I want to show you how to do that. All right. Very quickly and with a small amount. Now, if we look towards our HELOC, our BLOC, business line of credit, a personal line of credit, B HELOC even, any line of credit that has a lower interest rate, what we're going to see is a velocity banking tool. So this is how we're going to pay this debt off much quicker and also have access to more capital so that we can turn that capital into passive income. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to do an interest transfer. Interest transfer. Now, remember, we've done this with amortized loans. We're also going to be doing it with simple interest loans, simple interest lines as well. OK, so what does that mean? That means we are going to change one interest to another. All right. We're going to take this $90,000 at 20%, and we're going to switch it to $90,000 at 10%. Now, what does that do? Well, first of all, what it does is it crosses out all the interest that you were paying with that $90,000. It does that immediately, right? In about 30 seconds to a minute, you have effectively lowered the amount that you are paying the bank. Now, when we do that $90,000 at 10%, we've got to make sure that we pay it off, right? Okay. Now that we no longer have that headache of a debt, now we need to know, how do we pay off this line of credit at 10%? And this is how you do it. All right. $5,000. Let's just say that you're making the 5K. And then your expenses are about what? 3K, right? That's going to leave you with 2K. Now, that $2,000 has to go somewhere, doesn't it? Right? And if you need help with this, we actually have Velocity Banking Wizard right down there in the description link below. That 2K has to be somewhere. Some of us put it in our checking account, savings account, doing nothing. But really in finance, there's no such thing as money doing nothing, because money has to do something or it loses value, right? Okay, so where is it going to go? That's right. It's going to go within the line of credit, but it's not going to go there. It's going to stay there, because with the $5,000, when you get paid, you put it inside of your line of credit. Oh, and by the way, That $3,000 that you have to spend, it's getting spent from where? The line of credit, okay? Let's go ahead and tell you or show you what that looks like, okay? As the 2K stays within that line of credit, it's paying off that $90,000 and it's stopping the interest every time you pay it, right? Really, you're transferring it from your checking account to your line of credit, that $5,000. And what does it do to the interest once that $5,000 hits? It's lowering the interest. Why? Because you're lowering the principal, right? $90,000 minus $5,000 is $85,000. So that 10% is not eating off of the 90K anymore. It's eating off of the 85K. All right. And each and every month you're paying that down, less and less interest, right? That means more and more principal. That means less and less time that you are staying in that debt. Now, with this, you can expect to pay over $50,000 in interest. Okay, it's just interest alone, over $50,000. And oh, by the way, it's going to take you 5 years to get out of this debt. So 90 plus over 50,000, it's about what, over $140,000 on this credit card. Versus with the line of credit, as you're continuing to pay it down with that $2,000, remember, it's staying in there. You're not writing a check and you don't have to worry about minimum monthly payments when you're paying your line of credit like this. Why? Because you've already paid it with your income. Check it out. Anytime you pay over your minimum monthly payment, what's your minimum monthly payment? $0. That minimum monthly payment goes to you. So let's say that minimum monthly payment was going to be $1,800 a month. Well, guess what? That negative $1,800 just turned into a positive $1,800 or an $1,800 that you now control. All right. But folks, not only will you be out of this loan in the 45 months without getting a second job, okay, or without cutting back and eating beans and rice, you would actually have a new system of doing things, of paying off bills. But I don't want you to just pay off bills. I don't want you to just have the mindset of eliminating the debt and that's all you can do. I think you can do way more than that. As a matter of fact, I know you can. With a line of credit of, let's say, $10,000. I'm going to see if I have enough room up here. Line of credit, $10,000. Okay. And you'll be able to accomplish that very quickly. Let's say in 5 or 6 months, you'll have $10,000. Did you know with that $10,000, it is possible to get $300 each and every month with passive income? Now, why is that important? Well, when you're utilizing this velocity banking tool called the line of credit, the more cash flow that you have, the faster you can pay down debt. Okay. And really, you either have debt or equity. Okay. So there is such a thing as bad debt, but is there such a thing as good debt? Because really, it's either debt or equity. And really, with this line of doing things, you're building equity. All right, is what you're doing here as you're increasing in cash flow. So that $300 a month from that $10,000 investment is doable. But, in 45 months, you'll have $90,000. That's almost what, 4 years, right? And that $90,000, okay, what can you do with that? If you can have $300 a month with 10K, what can you have with multiplied by 9? So all we would need to do is multiply this by 9, right? Okay, that's 90K. Let's multiply this by 9 too, okay? That would be $2,700 each and every month. Now, folks, I know for a fact that these are conservative numbers. And this $2,700 a month is passive income. Now, with passive income, it's much different than earned income. Earned income, you've got to go to work, all right? With passive income, you look at the investments that you've invested in. And so what I want you to do is I want you to turn this $2,400 a month, right? To go from here, right? This is debt right here, okay? Bad debt. I want you to go from here to here. And it's very possible. So this $2,700 a month is all passive. That's on top of the $2,000 in cash flow that you are already earning. So now, let's see, what does it take in order for you to have financial freedom where your passive income has to exceed or meet your expenses? Is that right? So how much more do you need in order to at least meet your expenses? 300, right? Because our expenses are now 3,000, right? So let's say you went ahead and did another investment, $3,000 now each and every month you have, because you have another $10,000 investment, short-term amortized investments. If you need help with that, go ahead and click that description link, passive income. Do you need to go to work anymore when you have $3,000 in passive income? You know, my mom told me like this. She said, CJ, there's such a difference between having to work and wanting to work. Needing to go to work versus, hey, I just desire to go to work. All right. I want you to turn your line of credit, right, from bad debt to equity. We can help you do it. Folks, if you have any questions on cash flow, how it works, you need to check out this video right here, and we'll see you in another video.